Happy Friday, everyone. This is 60 Grit, and we're going to do a review on the Pixel 8 Pro. This is the porcelain version. We're going to unbox it, take a look at it to see what the color looks like. Real quick, we're going to do some capping of the specs. We're going to compare this to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, because that's the equivalent to the Pro, to the 8 Pro. So let's go on and get this open, and won't get into the box. I love making fun of people that make a thing about, ooh, look how slick, look how that goes. Oh yeah. As you know, in the box, you get the USB-C to USB adapter, you get a USB-C cable, and then you just get some booklet. And in here, as this phone does have a SIM card, you also get a tool to pop out the SIM. Again, this is the porcelain, so it's gonna be the white version with the silver backing. It's actually, you know, it's nice. Not bad for a color. I think I prefer the blue. The obsidian black is pretty cool, but this phone is going to have the Google Tensor G3, 12 gigs RAM, internal, and then you got 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte storage option. When you start comparing this to the iPhone, very similar, except the only difference is you're gonna be able to do 128 on this one, while the 15 Pro Max starts at 256. Bigger battery, so this is a 50 milliamp battery. The iPhone 15 Pro is a 4422. This one's gonna be 30 wired, up to 23 wireless of watts. The iPhone will be 27 wired and 15. So when you start looking at the charging specs, this phone will charge faster for you in every aspect, as long as you buy the right charging equipment. 6.7-inch display, same as the 15 Pro. Resolution on this is the 1344 by 2992, and the iPhone's gonna be at 1290, so you're gonna get a little bit crisper display on this. This phone actually has some incredible specs. You've heard me talk about before. This phone is amazing. This is the first time Google actually came leading with hardware. Usually it's, my software can do everything, but really it can't. And that's where Google really suffers, is they think their software can make up for mediocre hardware, and this one is the first one. So when you start looking at the PPU, this is a 489, and you know the iPhone does a 481 PPI. You know, 1 pixel per unit, the other one's pixel per inch. I'll let you Google it to see what the difference is on that. Maybe if you want, put comments in there. I can go into a detailed video on it if somebody does want to see that. You get up to 1600 nits in HDR and up to 2400 in the peak brightness. You know, the minimum is comparable to the 15 Pro Max, but the Max actually tops out at 2000 nits. So this at 2400. Being outside, what does that mean? It means when you're outside, the sun's bright, you're gonna be able to see this phone a lot better, because the nits is the brightness, and the brightness is gonna provide you the clarity, and that's where you're gonna see this. And the big spec between when you're looking at this versus the iPhone is really gonna be the camera. So this has a 50 megapixel Octa on the back, 48 and 48. So it has a 50 Octa wide camera, a 48 quad ultra wide camera with autofocus, and a 48 quad telephoto camera. It's a lot higher than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is a 48 12 12. So when you start looking at why my picture's more crisp on the Google Pixel for the first time, well, it's not because the software is trying to manipulate to make you look better. It's actually better hardware along with great software to manipulate how it looks and what you're gonna do. This front camera right here is gonna be a 10.5 megapixel dual PD selfie camera on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, 12 megapixel. So this should provide you also a better selfie camera. The dimensions will be 6.4 inches high, 3 inches wide, 0.3 in depth, it weighs 7.5 ounces. And if you are an iPhone user and you move to the iPhone 15 Pro Max and you notice how light that is with the titanium casing, well, that's a 6.29 inch high. So it's a little bit, the height of it is a little bit shorter. The thickness is a 3.02 on the iPhone Pro Max, This one's gonna be 3 inches, so this one's gonna be just a tad skinnier. And then, so this one 3.02 is going this way versus 3 inches on this one. So you're looking at 0.02 difference compared. So this is gonna be just a tad slimmer than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And then the thickness is actually only 0.3 on this phone versus 0.32 on the Apple iPhone. But the iPhone 15 Pro has done a lot of sizing down. If you pick one up because you've been carrying one, you notice how much lighter it is. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is a 7.81 ounces. This is 7.5 ounces. So this phone is even lighter than your 15 Pro Max, which is, that matters to you. I've actually heard, I was actually somewhere and some lady was telling me about how the iPhone was so heavy and she's so glad that the 15 Pro Max came out. And honestly, I'm just like, okay, if a phone is too heavy for you to pick up, maybe you shouldn't be carrying a phone. That's why they got flip phones. Oh, never thought a phone was too heavy. And this was a lady that's about 5'6". I guess she probably weighs about 135 pounds. So if this phone is too heavy for you to pick up, I don't know what to guide you for or how to help you, because this doesn't weigh much. My 10-year-old kid's been carrying one of these forever. But this is the game. Once again, this is the Porcelain, so white covering, silver backing, great phone. I'm actually moving from the iPhone to the Google officially, and it has to do with some of the software, some of the tweaks. They're no longer bleeding edge. Yes, they own majority of the market, just under 60% of the US market. Google Pixel Pro has less than 3%, or actually Google Pixel has less than 3% to be correct. But if you want the market to change, then you need to start buying somebody else. And when somebody's innovating, I highly suggest to start supporting them, because that's how it forces other companies. And if you know what I'm talking about, there's a reason why BlackBerry's no longer in business. They thought they did everything right, never want to make changes, quit adopting new technology and creating. And guess what? iPhone came in and took them out. Sears and Roebuck, I'm sure you heard the story, never wanted to change. I thought they were great the way they were, where they have to say they're out of business. I'm not saying Apple will ever go out of business, but if they don't start making changes, you should start supporting somebody else to force those changes. And this is a great piece of hardware to go. This will give you a stock feel, just like your iPhone, very stock feel. Your updates are the quickest. Whenever they release an update, you immediately get it on the Pixel, just like on the iPhone. So yeah, give it a shot, give it a try. If you could, please subscribe down below. I'm trying to get the message out more. Everything's real that I'm trying to do. Nobody's influencing what I'm doing. So if you can, please subscribe. That's how you help me get out there. So help the little man get out there, as I'm trying to help people understand the Pixel, why you should buy the Pixel. And when you start looking at the market, yes, this is one of the smaller shares out there when you look at shares in the US. So happy Friday, have a great day, and leave any comments. I reply to all of them. And again, if you can, please subscribe. If you love me, subscribe. If you hate me, subscribe. And if you're unsure, hey, subscribe anyways. Thanks, have a good day.